Welcome, welcome, brothers and sisters. Hope you're well. Hope you're all well. For those who will join us. Don't know how long this could go. It's 10 degrees Fahrenheit height where I'm at for my brothers and sisters across the pond from America. 10 degrees. Got done with my run. I'm frozen. But I tried to come on yesterday a couple places and there was no connection where I was at. Hopefully the mic is working because I'm too cold to adjust it. So, the market. What is going on with the market? Pretty easy. There's no volume yet because no one's back yet. That is quite all right. Wait until next week. I'm not saying it's going to be green in our favor. What I am saying is that we have no control over that. But we have some exciting things happening. C90. I know, dude. 10 degrees. 10 degrees. I can't take the gloves off or my hands within about 5 seconds. I don't feel them. So that's I'll be short and sweet, but I have felt guilty not being able to come on. Hope you're doing well. How's the mouth? Is that healing up? It takes quite some time. But no dry socket is always good news. That's that's the most you can hope for when you get your wisdom teeth out. C90. But it is cold. I'm in the forest, so it's not as windy, but the cold remains. But I am getting some vitamin D when I was out in the sun, which we need in the wintertime here in the Midwest. As a vegan, you got to get sunlight. We don't have fortified milk like people who drink milk and get fortified foods like that, so you got to have a vitamin D pill if you're not getting the sun. Just through the winter, which is important. Yo, Meadow, how are you? I'm off all meds, so thankful for the. Oh, see, you're in the clear. You're gonna be in the clear. You'll be good to go in no time. Good to go in no time. I am liking what I'm seeing in the market. We knew this was just a temporary dip. I just feel for the new folks who got shaken out by this. There's no reason to be shaken out by what transpired. But, we could easily, when we have that meeting with the next Fed meeting, and if CPI data comes in fairly hot, which I think it may, we could see another shakeout. But I'm hoping DeFira coming in will speak up. I'm not sure why, not to go on Trump or Biden or anything like that, but why he has to tear apart Biden still. You know what I mean? That's just move on. The divisiveness, it makes no sense. Just move on. Talk about positive things. Get in the White House. Tell us what you're going to do to fix everything. Not ripping on the current administration and how we're laughed at. That does nothing but divide us further. I'm not looking for a fucking kumbaya moment, but come on. Let's be reasonable. Biden welcomed you into the White House. Tried to be civil. Let's be civil back. But a lunatic like Trump can't do it. Anyways. DeSci had $1 billion day. Yeah, DeSci is huge. And I've known that for a good year. It's just there's no, not buying it on my exchanges, unfortunately. But that was tempting for me to get on the Dexus to get some DeSci because I think DeSci is the next, and I have for a while. A lot of people don't understand how DeSci is going to work, and let's be honest, it's just an idea, like everything for the most part is on the blockchain. But I think DeSci will be a hot narrative, and I think Coinbase and Kraken and the rest of the central exchanges are being idiots for not putting a ton of that stuff on their exchanges. They want the volume, the commission volume, the fee volume. That is the way to go. I mean, I always wanted to buy Vital DAO, but just haven't. I love that sector, always have. Like I said, though, it's just an idea at this point. And that's probably the most recent narrative that it's not totally new. I think when I first heard of it was maybe a year ago, something like that, a little over a year ago. Very interesting, when prices were extremely low. It's just a matter of time for things to get pushed up. I think I'm pretty damn excited, to be honest with you. The last couple weeks have been nothing but a blessing. I have bought my kids, kind of did what I said I was going to do, get them in the market. They do this part, I'll do the rest. And boy, I'm spending more of their money than I probably should. But they're up. Doing some degen plays for them, but that's okay. I'm covering any losses that they may incur. I can't see how they're going to lose on anything. But I will make sure they sell long before I do. I want to make sure, a couple $1,000s to them goes a lot longer way than it does for me. To me, I don't take profits on a couple $1,000s. It's just, to me, that's not why I'm in crypto. No. We're in for the big stuff, right? Yep, it's weird how Coinbase has stayed away from research coin. Yeah, that makes no sense. I know. I think that will change. I believe that's just C90. I believe that's all. You know why. You know the answer to that question. I'm going to wait to see. I know there's a delay when I talk. Why haven't they listed it? I want to know if you and I are on the same page. Why haven't they listed it? I'll wait for your answer. There's one reason in my mind, and one reason only, why that is not on Coinbase, or none of the DeSci is really. I'm waiting. There's a delay. I wonder how long the delay is on this. I think Brian is fearful. There you go. SEC intervention. If you listen, there you go. You and I, great minds think alike. That is how this community, the newbies, come onto it, understand how you can get help in there. It's exactly why Coinbase has not listed it. The one that Brian Armstrong, CEO of Coinbase, is involved in, because SEC repercussions. Because there's no clear understanding of what the rules and regulations are, as much as Gary said there were. Exactly right. That's what you get from this community in here. They've had a few years of knowing the market, making mistakes, and winning more than losing. And that's all going to change. So I mean, you've already seen Coinbase risking it, adding more riskier projects, meme coins and shit coins like they are, and it dilutes the whole Coinbase. The whole Coinbase vibe. Rally is kind of gone. Last bull run, if Coinbase listed something, it just skyrocketed. That effect is pretty gone. It still has a little effect, but usually it's before Coinbase lists them, then it gets sold off. Yeah, Brian Armstrong is no dummy. Someone asked me yesterday on my comments, should we fully trust Coinbase and central exchanges for this and that? I don't have a ledger. This is what my subscriber said. I can't remember the name right now. I commented back to him. No, you can't trust any exchanges, central or Dexes, anything like that. But right now, that's what you have. You also can't trust your wallets. Ledger, Tangem. Tangem just had an issue. Everything, when you have to deal with technology, is going to have some type of breach or issue at some point. Everyone can preach secure, and we don't want your seed phrase and all this type of stuff. With technology, there's issues, period. There's nothing we can do about that. So that shouldn't stop you from having a wallet. But, here I've been preaching about Tangem, how easy it is and how much I love it. And they had a little issue the other day. Not going to stop me from using it. What choice do you have? But in regards to trusting Coinbase, you can't trust any exchange because there's no protections right now for you. So if you do use Coinbase, you have to have Coinbase One, period. You have to have Coinbase One. It gives you a little bit of protection. But don't trust anything. That's why you have, if you're trading a little crypto, if you just have a little bit, I think you're fine leaving it on Coinbase. If you're, doing significant numbers like many of us, you have to have a wallet that you feel happy with. Me, I use Tangem just because of the convenience and the ease of this. I never liked Ledger, used it. That was one I used forever. I just don't like it. I tend to spread out my bags into multiple wallets just to keep the risk as low as possible for it to, yes, exactly right. That's why you don't just get Tangem, you don't just get Ledger, you got, find ones that work for you, do reviews, search it on YouTube, do your own research, and do that. I still have money on my Ledger and Tether and a couple other things, but what I typically use is Tangem. It's just easier. And what I'll be doing in the next, hopefully 6 months to a year, is selling every single thing except for Bitcoin. So I won't have to worry about that. And that'll all go into other investments and cash holdings. I listened to a lot of people over the years forever saying cash will make you poor. Well, you don't want to have everything in cash. You have to be diversified. My safest BTC holdings, probably my ETF sitting in TFSA. Exactly. Yep. That's a good route. Spreading it through wallets, having a little here, a little there, but you got to be responsible. You really got to have your smarts about it. The days of having it on pieces of papers long time ago and on your computer are long gone. There's been hundreds of millions of dollars lost due to people's hard drives being thrown in the garbage, not thinking anything of it. So we are at the volume stage. You can tell with 100 and some, the low 100 million volume, that people are just not back yet. Next week will be a completely different story. I don't know if it's going to be for the red or the green. Overall, we're going to trend in the right direction, but it will be somewhat choppy when we get to the CPI data. Anything dealing with the Fed right now after the last meeting, it's like that anyways. It wasn't like it the last bull run, but now it's our market's predicated on what Powell not necessarily only has to say, but his whole demeanor. And the more questions these idiot reporters ask, the worse it is for our markets. But the talk of reserves is becoming more and more apparent in regards to Bitcoin reserves. And some people in crypto don't like it, and they should go cry in a corner then, because that's the greatest. Let all these nations, in my personal view, buy as much Bitcoin, all the Bitcoin. I don't care. Because number one, they won't get it all. Number two, a lot of places are going to be concerned about the volatility. Just because governments are buying it, just because ETFs are buying it, doesn't mean it won't be volatile. Because that's not, they're not buying it on spot. Spot is what moves the market. So when there's a sell-off, these ETFs will sell off, and these reserves will end up buying it, and so will we. I am curious to see what happens in the next 60 days. This is going to be an interesting month. Very interesting month. It's going to be an interesting year, but this month is really going to tell us a lot about where we're going to go. That's not going to be the first thing on Trump's agenda when he comes in office. As on his inauguration, I highly doubt it'd be lovely that crypto is going to be in his inauguration speech. I don't know if you remember his last speech. Inauguration was the most horrific, terrifying speech ever. It sounded like a dictator to me. It was pretty nauseating. I'm hoping he has a different tone and changes his tune and tries to unite us. That's what we need. But overall, all I give a shit about right now is him pumping our crypto in our bags. That's really why the only reason I'm happy he's in office. Well, there's a lot of reasons. Ultimately, I want you all to make the money that we're going to make. It's not a matter of if. It's a matter of, yes, it's going to happen if all the shit goes according to plan. Nothing usually does go according to plan, but if he does, really all that matters is what he does, the administration. Yeah, definitely a lot of, hold on, what, sorry, gotta take off my gloves to look at this. I agree that likely the only BTC my wife would know. Yeah, throw into a trust. It's funny when I every now and then I'll remind my wife about, okay, this is how something happens to me. This is what you do with the crypto. This is where this is. This is where that is. This is how you access this. This is 2FA, all that stuff. So make sure if you have a significant other and you trust them, shouldn't be with them if you don't trust them, that you explain. They might not want to, they could give two shits about proppy and what crypto actually does, but I'm sure if you get hit by, God forbid, a truck, that they're going to want to know how to cash it out or hold on to it or access it. Make sure you explain to them how to cash out, what they need to do. Another reason why I use very easy, simple access to crypto for my wife to be able to handle something. If, I'm 52, you never know what could happen. You never know what happens the next day. I run every day. Just because I may be in good shape doesn't mean I'm not going to, drop dead of a heart attack or something on the trail. Who knows? I want my family taken care of. And right now, they are taken care of. But they won't be taken care of in regards to crypto if they don't know how to access it. Right? I don't want her going to BitBoy boot camp and going, hey, here's my dead husband's keys and Tangent wallet. How do I access this? He's trustworthy to help her, right? Bag holders are in catch 22. Be time they dump half of their bags. The last half of their bags would be diminished heavily. Yep. ETS will hold the value up and won't dip as low. Just my thoughts. Yeah, I think they'll be buying. I don't know. I hope if we get it when we get into a bear market that Bitcoin dumps like crazy. I that's my personal hope, because I want it to go to $40,000, because I'd like to buy 20 or 30 Bitcoins at 40K. I'll be happy with that, even if it dips down to 20, because we know it's going back up. So I agree, we're going to have more, we'll know more in the next 60, 90, 120 days what's going to happen. Because if governments really start buying, they'll keep buying up. So will Bitcoin stabilize more? Theoretically, it should. But as we saw, it just went from $108,000 to $90K in no time. So right now, it's not there. Right now, we could easily drop to $20,000 if shit hit the fan, easily. It would take a couple months, but if we were in, a bad downturn, it would happen. It would happen, no problem, because ETS would start selling. It would be a cascade of shit, and you'd have sale or buying, but who cares? It won't be on spot. It wouldn't drive up price. He never drives up price. My brother is an actuary and understands 256, but doesn't own crypto. I know he could recover this. He phases. There you go. There's a will, there's a way. Yeah, I think I don't want any stability in crypto. We want, because if we're stable on the way down, that means our gains won't be as good. Mr. X will recover the funds for 20% fees. That is fucking funny. That is funny. That guy cracks me up more than anything. He is really good for a laugh. His story is, I was thinking of it yesterday when I was running. I was thinking of BitBoy yesterday. How he went from a guy making videos in his closet with this high squeaky voice. Listen to his early videos. They're maybe gone now from Discover Crypto. Maybe they got rid of them. But he went from making little ghetto thing, the most humble guy in the world, little fat guy with his hat backwards, interviewing people with a high squeaky voice, humble, nice, all that. Then boom, I remember him just growing and growing and then becoming the biggest pompous psychotic ass I've ever seen. Just a complete scammer, then turning into the biggest scammer. And then karma doesn't always work, right? It's never worked for Trump and many other pieces of crap. Yet BitBoy got his karma and he didn't learn any lessons. And then you look at his channel, he said, I'm going to be this humble guy. He's crying, going to stay with his wife, left his wife. And then he talks about how humble he's going to be and all that. Far from it. Tried 50 million, I mean, literally at least 40 different things on his new channel, 40 different versions of what they're going to do. And they're all flops. And he deserves it. If he came back humble and truly learned his lessons, and then he would cry and he quit again, if you remember. And then he's right back. He's just such a scammer. And Bencoin, coming out with Bencoin, any guy who comes out with, any streamer who comes out with a coin, a meme coin, they're just scamming you. They're saying it's giving back to the community. Just remember that. But his story is unbelievable. Unbelievable. And it's, it's amusing to me. If he was a good guy, I'd feel bad for him. He's just not a good guy. But it's a really interesting story. You see, 90, you got to admit, BitBoy's story is very interesting. Yeah, you got a grill. That was crazy. And Gucci, I mean, he thought he wanted to be Richard Hart. Because if you saw when he would come on the, around the blockchain when that was, something back in the day, which I got amused from, but he would come on and be like, this is how it is. And, just like he knew everything. But the truth of the matter is, last bull market, he would make picks and they would come true. And the truth of the matter is, it's a bull run. Everyone can look like a genius. But he did look like a genius for a while. I mean, he did a lot of smart moves, but he just lost it. He's a perfect example of someone who made it to the top of a industry, YouTuber, made it to the top. He's on the news. He's on every channel. And fell to the bottom because of his ego and because of drugs and all that other stuff. Very funny stuff. And I loved to see it. I mean, couldn't happen to a bigger asshole, so it was lovely. I mean, Rand kind of deserves it too. He's a scumbag. I think ledger holders like larger holders like BlackRock and Sailor account don't panic sell. No, never. They won't sell. I agree. But ETF holders will sell. They already have. There's a ton of outflows. They already have. They will always sell. BlackRock is different. But ETF holders will always sell. I said that from the beginning. They do. They always sell. They're in for profits. They're not going to... Some of them will be long-term people like Sailor. But the majority of ETF holders are in for profit, not for freaking reserve. Mr. X. I'd like to see ETH and BTC to break away into their own asset class. Let the other tokens. Yeah, that's always the... we'd like to see a crypto break away from the traditional markets and all that too. It's just, it's tied together. I'm with you. Everyone has always talked about the decoupling. It was the big thing last cycle, the decoupling of ETH and Bitcoin. And people who don't think ETH is going to shoot up, it's going to. The problem is that people don't understand, in my personal view, I don't know everything, but ETH is a few $1,000s. Okay, it moves in, it goes up $100, $200, $300. Think of that. We would be ecstatic if our projects did that. Most of our projects, a lot of my projects move in a fraction of a penny or $1. ETH goes up $200-$300. So for it to get to $5,000-$6,000, that is a lot of action to happen. And people just don't get it. Oh, ETH has been stagnant. ETH is worthless. ETH is slow. ETH is expensive. But ETH is here to stay. It's not going anywhere. And it will have its run up. Where it's going to go, nobody knows. You hear 6,000, you hear 10,000. I have no idea. If we get into the thick of things, my view, it's easily getting to 6,000 or 7,000, but I don't know. That's still good. Yeah, it's maybe only 100% that it goes up, but we're talking about a $6, $7, $8,000 project. We're not talking about Solana that went from $9 to $100 to $200. Yeah, people don't, they don't take that into mind about the price of Ethereum. It's significant. It's not a dollar project like Ondo. No? Will Ondo do better than ETH this run? Hell yeah, of course. Most projects will do better than Ethereum. Freaking Polyswarm that I was talking about yesterday. I had like 720,000 of them, and I sold it on July 3rd. It's popping up now. Right now, the things that come back first, as we know, are the big boys. The top 20 projects, the big boys. But a lot of people like me load in on some of these smaller caps because we know those will have its turn to run. It's going to have a major run, I believe. I mean, as the new people come in, they're going to look at the ones that are a penny, 2 pennies, 10 pennies, 50 cents, Ondo at $1 something. Who knows where it will be after the token unlock? I don't think it's going to affect it much, my personal view. The newbies are not going to be looking at Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, probably, A lot of people are new, they're younger, they might only have a few $1,000s to spend. They're not going to want to blow their load on a project that's $200, $300, $400. My personal view. I don't know. What the hell do I know? Will ETH decouple though? I think, it wouldn't be nice to see. I can definitely agree with you there. We'll see, how those layer twos. I'm very excited about the base protocol and what's being built on that. That's why Moonwell to me, I think is just is a good one. Arrow, I don't know how high Arrow is going to go. I think Velo is going to have its time to shine. It really, I bet you would have been at 40 or 50, 60 cents at this point if we didn't take a hit like we have since the last Fed meeting. One point, Ben had a lot of money too. Oh, he had a ton. Land, houses, hunting lodges. Yeah, screw his hunting lodges. When he started talking about that last bull run about him, he was going to kill him. What did he kill? Killed a moose. Then he was going bear hunting, and he was going to mount the bear and bring it in the studio. I started an uproar on his channel every day under a different name. But that guy, what I appreciated about him the last cycle was he was open. He shared everything. He would go off topic crazily, kind of like I do. But he showed his portfolio, and I appreciated that. I did like his openness and his transparency with that. I think it was like $24 million at the time, and he got screwed over. I don't like him or TJ. I think TJ is actually the guy I like to listen to the most on that channel. Him and Josh are pretty sharp guys. TJ has the knowledge. It's just he can't help but be a scammer. He can't help it. I mean, you can hear it in his voice. I love the Disco fam. I love you guys here. This. I'm excited. It's just all about money with that guy. But when it comes to crypto, he knows his shit. But everyone does who's been in long enough. You don't know your stuff after 1 or 2 cycles. You're doing it wrong, and you're relying too much on people to tell you what to do. But God, I remember them buying so much land in the metaverse. I'm like, what are you spending $200,000-$300,000 for land in Decentraland and Sandbox? You are nuts. That is not going to pay off, and they got killed. Like, no, but that is going to die. Facebook, they got their asses handed to them on that. That was joyful. That was the beginning of the end, if you remember, though. That was when Zuckerberg came out and announced they were changing their name to Meta. So you got to look for those signals. We're not near there. There's no hype in crypto right now. We hit the 100K. It was on the news, this and that. Gone, which is great. That means people are out. The volume's out. You have time to accumulate. We'll be back at it. Before you know it, we're going to be $100,000 guaranteed. And we eventually have to hold there. If we don't have shitty news, it's nowhere but up. I don't know what Bitcoin's going to do, but Bitcoin will have its time to shine. 110, 115,000. Money comes out, goes into your, along with Bitcoin going up, so will the large caps, in my view, and then it'll go into mid caps. People will sell out of mid caps, go into the small risky caps. I don't know what memes we'll be doing by then, but I believe the most popular memes are going to go up. Bonk, Pepe, all that stuff is going to trail up, and then they'll get slaughtered. And all that shit will go into risky plays, but not memes. And that's where you guys are going to freaking make so much money. But you have to be diversified. Everyone on here right now, there's only 4 people who already are. You guys know what you're doing. Anyone who listens to this later, just know the time is coming. Time is coming. Alts are already, we have no volume and things are rising. We could easily be manipulated the other way, but right now you can tell the tendency of the market is favorable. Everything switches on a dime. The 1 point, what else? It was the Diamond Grill that was the turning point. Yeah, it's when he jumped the shark. You believe that in the Gucci shit? His story is crazy for sure. I'm going to make a documentary about it. You guys should go see the Bob Dylan movie. It was pretty good. ATB was the best show, where DZ would ask a question and sit back and not interrupt. Oh my God, DZ, I can't listen to that guy anymore. I mean, he's good at reading the news, but on that show, Josh is great. Like I said, at certain things, he's a little young-minded, thinks he knows everything, but, and I hate when he screams. That was my big thing about Ben too. I used to literally have to put the volume on too. But ATB, I don't know why he can't let anyone finish a thought now. Even the boss, TJ's talking and boom, he's right all over it. Best content was him in front of that Carlos guy's house. Oh my God. I'm like, is this real? And she was in the truck. Oh, what a scum. Now look, if you're in a marriage and it's not going well, that's one thing, but you're going to do this shit on camera? He literally brought his mistress on camera. The guy's a lunatic. I love it. Talk about ruining a family. Someone who probably stood by him through all his drugs and all his failures. I will hand it to the guy, though. As much as I cut him down and as much as I think he is a scum of the earth, and I do believe that he is scum of the earth. Not for cheating on his wife. I could care less about that. That's, that shit happens. So you don't know what goes on in a marriage. He's just a scumbag. But he is forged through. He gets in the ring. I can't argue. The guy has balls. Let's be honest. As much as I tear people down, or some people down that deserve it. George and Rand, those guys are wusses. But Ben at least has the cojones to match his ego. He gets in the ring with these people. He puts it all on the line. He does the work with, as much as he scams people, and he is a scammer. He's fighting. He's had a ton of failed businesses before he got into crypto. He's your typical snake oil salesman. That is Ben. He's nothing more than, but he keeps going. He's a con man. Just like Rand is. He's a con man. They might be, Rand is a good businessman. Ben is not. He trusted everyone. You're not a good businessman just because you built a business and you let people take it away from you like he did. TJ's a good businessman. He was able to build Ben up, let him do his thing, and then take it away from him. TJ's not a con man. He's just a thief. And he knows, when it comes to business, you listen to TJ and Ben. They couldn't be more opposite. Got a fiery, cocky asshole in Ben. And TJ was more calm, cool, and collected, sitting back, filling in the gaps. The real knowledgeable one. And that was TJ. Put the ego aside, no ego there, just like, it's the quiet guys that you got to be scared of. Because the big, robust, talkative, crazy people like Ben, you know what you're getting. That's the real deal. He can't hide it. He can't be anything but that. He always wants to do the talking. When someone else is talking, you can tell he's just like, he can't stop. He's just waiting for you to interrupt you. TJ just waits for his moments, and he did, and he got himself a business. But that Carlos house, shit, that was good. Who's in the truck? Who's in the box? What's in the box? Remember that movie? Oh, I don't even know if I can look at the, where are the comments here? ETH is on the move. Good. Where's the market? It's still like 97,000. So have this duplex in Alberta. Lots of immigrants in the area of the property. Get a call from one, says dryer is not drying clothes no more. Okay. My problem with ETH is that no one likes paying the L1 fees. So yeah, I agree, 100%. C90, it sucks. I mean, but it's just so many things are built on it and people are using it. And it's kind of in institutions. I'm with you on ETH. Trust me, I have all the same complaints that everyone does. I just know it'll pop. It's just not going to pop like the rest of our shit. This family lived there for 8 months. I send the maintenance fella over and he pulls out queen size sheet from the lid trap. Oh my God. See, that's the, this thing would be keep you warm at night, like 5 inches of thick. Ben's not a good person, but I can't understand how complex the courts, yeah, could really be. I don't think TJ has paid Ben. No, I agree. I'm not saying Ben does not deserve some of the shit. Hey, Skull. Hey, Javi, how are you? Yeah. I've actually, Javi, I bought more Shadow at the lower prices. I said I wasn't going to, but the volume picked up. So yeah, I bought more Shadow to bring down my average cost, which it has. I have faith in making money on it. It's 100%. I'm going to be fine. I was already up money a couple weeks ago before it pops fast. So I bought a lot more Shadow, a lot more. I bought a shitload over the last, couple weeks, probably about $40,000 worth of stuff. I have a problem. What can I tell you? But my goal is 10 to 15 million. This bull run. Excuse me. I have to do it, but that is my goal, and I know I will at least reach 7 million, 100%, if we get into the bull market. Yeah, the court system's brutal. Ben's a piece of shit. They're both screw each other over. It doesn't affect us, but what Ben did to affect people is that Ben coin and all that shilling, and then he got into the hex. He's a fly by night type of guy, and that you can't trust. He has no trust there. He lost his marbles. Just a great story of someone who believed his own shit, believed his own stuff. I mean, he had it made. He had it freaking made. Even through the bear market, he had it made. And I will give him credit. He said this is going to be the worst bear market we've ever had. He was right. He was right. A lot of his guesses came true. I'm still holding all my portfolios. Hell yeah, me too. I haven't sold since July 3rd. And I mentioned, there was a couple in there I didn't like selling. The ones I don't care about that I sold were Stacks. I wish I didn't sell Aerodrome, and I wish I didn't sell Polyswarm. Those two. The rest I'm fine with. I'm good with getting out of Stacks. Stacks had its day. It might go up again, but it's that whole ordinals and all that stuff and building on Bitcoin, that narrative's dead. I'm not saying it won't come back, but it's gone now. VC might be over 50 projects. No, I think I'm 48. I think I'm 48. I counted. I'm psychotic. It's already paid off, Metal. Honestly, I will be selling. I'm waiting for things to get nuts, which they have not, and I will be taking profits on certain projects and taking profits out, taxes, and dumping more in. A couple other things probably, depending on where the market is. I will tell you this: if DeSci gets on Coinbase and cracking and stuff, I will be buying a shitload. 49 and holding. Yeah, that's right. That's right. I can say I was throwing some shit at the wall over the last couple of weeks for my kids, and doing pretty good. It's sticking. You know, it's I am very, very excited and enthusiastic about what we're about to see, because we just got a tiny taste this time last year, a couple months. Then we were in the depths of hell. Then we got a tiny taste for a few weeks after the election, the election. And then Powell brought us down and tax harvesting, all the usual end of year stuff. If we come back strong next week with high volume, getting us back up to, we're at a quarter of what we were doing, or half some of the days, back up to 350 billion volume in the right direction. Holy cow. That will get people going. People will take some of that Christmas bonuses, end of year bonuses, start throwing it in. Cynthia Lumens, if we, the SEC switch over, all that stuff. If it goes positive, like they said, it's going to, I think we're going to have a long run. I don't know how long it's going to be, but I mean, we will have shakeouts along the way. But if we get favorable regulations and favorable, discussions within the administration and actual approval of the reserve, or at least for now holding on to what we have and talking about accumulating more to a reserve, that's going to be huge. It's nice when it sticks and doesn't just run down the wall. Yeah, that's true. I'm sure you have some tenants that may have done that to you. My Christmas bonus was a Meijer gift card. Hey, I love Meijer. Got to go there today. I understand. Yeah, I mean, I get quarterly bonuses, but yeah, I think I got what did I get? An Amazon gift card or something like that. I work for a $20 billion global company, and I get a gift card. I bring in like $20 million a year, if not more, for them. That's it. I don't get paid well. I do, but I earn every second of it, right? I'm earning my money right now. I'm talking to my community. That's a freedom. I got offered a couple jobs over the last couple months. Good money, no freedom. I'll take the good money with the freedom at my age. Working from home for the most part. Maybe I'll do a little more traveling this year, but the grass isn't always greener when it comes to jobs, my brothers and sisters. Grass, you guys know this. You might want to, I know a ton of people who have left for more money or a job title. And boy, do they regret it. Freedom is more important than a little more money. I can tell you that right now.
He does that. He does.
Ooh, hold tight. But I can tell you this: for me to lose freedom, it's going to take more than $100K a year. At my age. Did you see what the IRS is going to do? I heard that they are going to require wallet applications for getting tax. Yeah, we got another year for that, and that'll change. That we don't fully know what's going on with that yet, but that has been swept under the rug because they're not set up for it. So all the IRS shit is going for another year, and who knows what the new administration is not going to make it more complex for us. I can tell you that. So right now, that's okay. You do not have to worry about it. At least that's what I have seen over the last couple of days that transpired, that it went back to like, all right, we don't have to worry about this until like 2026. So the year of, 2027. And that'll change. Listen, got delayed to exactly reporting. Yeah, exactly. So, exactly. You and I are on the same page. It's going to change. Going to change and change again. Oh, I wonder if I'm hurting my mic here. we don't know what is going to transpire in the next under this administration. We're hoping that it's favorable. I can't see why it wouldn't be. Why would he be talking the way he is? Why would he hurt his kids who are heavily invested into crypto? He's heavily invested into crypto. Is it a conflict of interest? I really don't care as long as it pumps us out of the bags. It pumps our bags. That's all we care about. If we're going to hell in a bucket, we might as well enjoy the ride. Quote from the Grateful Dead. Maybe going to hell in a bucket, babe, but at least I'm enjoying the ride. That is the truth. Things are going to change this year in regards to IRS and KYC, all that stuff. I think it's going to become a lot more favorable for Coinbase. I think there's going to be a lot of things that are going to make crypto, feel a lot more welcomed within the normal markets. And it's, that's our hopes. We thought that was going to happen under, Biden's administration, to be honest with you. And it was the most, Trump's last administration was not crypto friendly at all. But this administration, the last 4 years, has been targeting us. And when they target us, you can't be happy about that. I'm not going to go as far as BitBoy when he was cheering that Charlie Munger died because he was against Bitcoin. Well, I mean, come on, that's a little crazy. But time will tell. I mean, we've just been in a bear market forever. We've got some time. Geez, I like crypto decentralized. If they do that, I don't know. Well, it will be. Yeah, we don't. I do like the decentralized thought, but let's be honest. If we want to get what we need to do, it's good to have the alts decentralized and everything. But if we and Bitcoin's decentralized, you can't change that. But we have to have them involved to make it easier for us, because they can make it difficult like they have been, and we don't want that. That does nothing for us. All we should care about here is making money. The thought of decentralization and all this type of stuff is a good thought, but we want them involved in a positive note, because they're getting involved anyways, right? They're either with us or against us. They've been against us. Let's get them with us. And when you have, $10, $15 million, $5 million, $2 million in the bank or whatever in assets, who cares what they do? The mode, the original mode of crypto and Bitcoin, that's dead. You looked at the movie before Ethereum even came to be, when Vitalik was at like this Bitcoin conference where they're all dancing like hippies. It's over. And who cares? We care about money and doing good for each other and giving back. And we'll get it 100%. They just want to align your own taxes with their own. Well, it's a bit much. Yeah. It's not easy. All right. No, we should worry about the way things have been. That is worrisome. Right now, we're supposedly going to be in a good spot. So let's hopefully be optimistic. We're always cautiously optimistic. At least I am, and realistic about what happens. And I think if they do half of what they said they were going to do, we're going to be in great shape. I mean, great shape. We can't do any worse than we've been for 4 years. So I think things are going to look good. Anywho, I'm going in. Be good. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, comment. Love you guys. C90, Skull, Metal, Javi. Anyone else who comes on later, I wish you the best. We'll talk later. I'm going to go warm up. Peace and love, boys.